my friends. Until we meet again.
We march through death. But we held the line with all our might. Through betrayal, through fire, through the weight of the descent. A final chapter written by a tired, dying head.
Let me tell you, the wasteland is cruel. My legs don't work. I'm still cute though, but also dying.
I'm PC, your tiny exoskeleton-clad protagonist, and this is day 1 of my 100-day journey through Kenshi, a world where survival is a suggestion and repair kits are apparently mythical artifacts. Today I begin my monk training. I seek peace, enlightenment, and functioning limbs. But after one bad encounter with the local wildlife, I spent the next 2 days crawling through the wasteland like a spiritual Roomba. Now, without further ado, let day 1 begin. I started off hearing a rumor about some cats to be made, so I ran for it. I was unfortunately stopped at the gates by some monks, guardian monks in fact, checking to make sure I didn't have contraband, which I didn't, so they ended up letting me through. And on the outside I discovered a battle, and being the battle monk that I am, I of course joined in. After a grueling, heartfelt battle, I had won. I did end up getting some minor injuries, but that should be fine. Wrong. I was ambushed, and then I went down. And then these creepy crawlies came crawling up out of nowhere. Oh my god! Fortunately, my monk brethren came to the rescue, slaying the beast. And although they left me there to die, I did find the opportunity to grab some more loot. After securing the loot, I began to crawl my way back home. Perhaps inside I could find a repair kit to save myself. And let it be known, the crawling upstairs with a broken body is incredibly difficult. The truth is, my fellow monks did try to heal me, but being as I'm a robot, they were unable to. I really should have done what my papa said and been a farmer monk. Upon entering the gates once more, I thought of it. Maybe the bar has some repair kits for me, so I made my way there. It was an extremely long crawl. Once inside, I made my way over to the barkeeper. Please tell me you have repair kits. The barkeeper had many things, but a repair kit, sadly, was not one of them. So I sold my wares and had to leave. On my way out of the bar, I attempted to make a friend with a fellow monk. I asked them to join my team, and they told me I could off. Slightly disheartened, I continued my journey to find a repair kit. Maybe I will find it someday. Next, I made my way to a clothing store. Perhaps they will have a repair kit, so I crawled my way in, hopeful in my venture. After yet another disappointing venture, I make my way down the sorrow steps to contemplate my next move. I even attempted to go to the pet store. Yet another failure in the books. Maybe this nifty shop will have it. Mother... I'm fine. Everything's fine. Let's just go explore this tower now. Up the stairs we go. What will we find? Nobody knows. Nothing. I found nothing. So let's just go over here. God, help me. God, in fact, did not give me any help. In fact, I found out I wasn't a true monk yet. However, during this conversation, I was accepted as a true monk. My home is truly my home now. Next, I attempted to sleep on this here repair bed. Papa said it would work if needed. Papa was also a chronic liar. So I attempted to make yet another friend. And you probably know how that went. Then, while waiting outside of the traveler's store, this happened. He's healing me! He's healing me! Yes! Pardon my outburst, but I am quite excited. I'm back on my feet, baby! Last episode, our robotic fox hero barely survived. This time, he finds a repair kit and loses everything. Welcome to days 4 through 7 of our 100 days in Kenshi. This is the rise of Bird and the fall of PC. We finally found a repair kit. Took us 4 days, 1 monk miracle, and a bone dog ambush. But PC's luck was turning, or so we thought. From looting slave traders to meeting a swords master named Bird of Passage. This episode had it all, until the Beak Things came. This is episode 2 of our 100 days in Kenshi, and it's the last time you'll see PC alive. Right after finding a repair kit, I came out into the wilderness and discovered this fella. I challenged him to a duel. PC was doing well, until his arm was made into metallic Swiss cheese. After a short, grueling battle, PC fell hard. After some time of being unconscious, PC finally awoke. And before healing up, PC decided to head home. It's safer in the monk village. And instead of using my own precious repair kit, I had this monk do it. Once again, PC sat down and attempted to make some new friends. Even one would do. However, he failed. Saddened by his lack of friends, PC took to the fields. It always calmed his nerves. And it also reminded him of his papa. While tending to the fields, PC noticed a commotion outside of the gates. So he went to check it out. Upon arrival, PC found a slave merchant battling a bone dog. So naturally he kicked in. After securing victory, PC secured some loot, one of which was a sword worth 30,000 cats. After yoinking the rest of the loot, I headed home. After a short rest, it was time for a big adventure. It was time to explore the wasteland. After some time exploring, PC could see in the distance a city, so he began to sprint across the wasteland toward the city. And then some evil bone boys began chasing him across the expanse. Run, PC, run! After outrunning the bone boys, I finally arrived at the city, and PC was nervous. Fortunately, PC's anxieties proved wrong, and the city was actually perfectly safe and prosperous. While in the bar, PC talked to virtually everyone there, and well, nobody wished to be his friend. Sad days indeed. That was until PC met a wandering swordsman named Bird of Passage. The pair quickly became friends, and eventually PC learned of Bird's debt. 10,000 cats, in fact. And PC paid it off, freeing Bird forever. Thus, Bird joined the group, and PC gained a friend. I also low-key learned that Bird's sword is worth a lot of cats. Now, I know what you're thinking, and no, I did not sell it. No, I did not indeed. I really didn't. But we did go look at armor. No, we didn't find anything worth getting. After perusing the shops, the duo went on an adventure through the wasteland. I wonder what they'll find. They found danger, so they began to fight for their lives. The Bone Boys spanked us with their teeth and then ran away. After much time passed, Bird awoke and hobbled over to heal PC. Eventually, PC got up, and together with Bird, they began to heal each other. That sounds weirder out loud. Afterward, the pair headed back into the city. A little rest and relaxation was in order. While Bird slept, PC perused, looking for some new items or gear. After a long nap, Bird was finally ready to go, so off they went on yet another adventure. Oh, look, a monk under attack. Let's go over there, away from the attack. Arriving at the bone fields, we saw a mammoth creature in the distance. So we went to say hi. We only wanted to look at it. Look how big it is. A moment later, the pair found themselves in a cinematic battle, one where they were actually winning. Boom bop beep, boom bop pow. The battle raged on for minutes and minutes and minutes, with me on the edge of my seat. Then, at long last, victory was secured, and the loot gathered in full. Afterwards, the pair once again healed up. You never know what comes next. What came next was being chased home by Beak Things. A few of them, in fact. The War of Monk Mountain had begun. Monks versus Beak Things. And within seconds of the war's start, PC had been killed by a Beak Thing in just a mere seconds, leaving Bird alone to face the remaining Beak Things. The war took many monk lives, but saw the monks victorious in the end. Due to his injuries, Bird returned to the village alone, but would soon return for his fallen brother. On day 6, Bird finally was able to retrieve PC's body and take him home. PC was more than metal and code. He was grit, loyalty, and glitch-born courage. From scavenger to savior, he stood against the chaos and died, protecting only home he'd ever known. Now he rests beside the god of monks. His journey ends here, but the story doesn't. Bird of Passage, the swordmaster with nothing but debt and dreams, now carries the torch. Kenshi won't go easy on him, but legends are forged in loss. Farewell, PC, the desert remembers. A city shimmers in the distance, silent, mysterious, promising adventure. Bird of Passage, our kind survivor, stepped forward with hope in his heart. What he found was cold shackles. Slave, survivor, fugitive. Episode 3 begins where hope ends. Wish PC could have seen this location. PC would have loved it. In hindsight, I realized that PC would, in fact, have hated this city. For you see, this was the home of slave traders. A giant organization that does, well, as their name suggests, they sell slaves. And their eyes were now on Bird. And now standing in front of Bird was a man with a massive mace and an evil glint in his eye. He had already managed to injure Bird's left leg, so he did the only thing he could do. He ran as fast as he could, heading toward the monk village. Bird ran with all of his might, but with an injured leg. Would it be enough to make things even worse? Bird took a tremendous shot to his stomach and was forced to fight for his freedom. However, escape was impossible. Bird was placed in shackles, his gear stolen. Everything seemed incredibly bleak. But then Bird's captor suddenly ran off. Stunned by the sudden miracle, Bird began to hobble his way back to Monk Mountain. His home and freedom were so close, and by the grace of the gods, he made it. From here, rest was in order, both mentally and physically. The hardest part to cope with was the loss of his prized sword. Perhaps one day it'll be re-obtained. Perhaps one day, revenge. Anyway, revenge would have to wait for now. In the meantime, Bird headed out for some shopping. It reminded him of PC and their time together. He missed his friend dearly. During this shopping trip, Bird bought a map or two and a larger carrying pack. Right after, Bird went to the fields. This, too, reminded him of his best friend. This time of reflection allowed Bird to free himself from the mental instability of his capture. It allowed him to refocus. Satisfied with himself, Bird once again headed outside of the safety of the village. Here, Bird would meet up with some fellow monks who were patrolling outside of the village. Bird and the patrolling monks walked everywhere, seemingly everywhere anyways, and as if by fate, the patrolling monks headed toward the slave trader city. And then, in the blink of an eye, the monks laid siege to the slave trader city. Bodies, loot, and repair kits scattered, ironically, everywhere. And it was here that greed took over. In an absolute frenzy, Bird began taking as much as he possibly could. The downside is he was becoming a little heavy. The war was going well. The loot was plentiful. The winds of change were coming. And it was here, while Bird was guarding the gates, that the winds of fate would finally shift. While watching a newly freed slave escape, Bird suddenly took massive damage. Now standing before Bird was an injured, looted, naked guard? Yeah, he was there. He was extremely powerful, and he was ready to kick our... And within a split second, Bird was dropped. And now for the slavers, this was a golden opportunity. This was a slave who had come home. Bird may have been back in shackles. The battle lost, but he was still alive, still breathing, and regaining freedom. That would always be the goal, but for now, Bird was caged. During this time, Bird had seen many things. Swamp raptor attacks, raids, other slaves attempting to escape. I genuinely hope they made it out. War raids, even found some of the monks who had been captured alongside him. And on top of that, this place was absolutely massive, far bigger than I had originally thought. And there were battles going on all over it, almost at all times. But none of that really mattered though, because Bird was stuck in his bird cage. However, on day 9, Bird began to break his shackles. It was time to bust out of his cage. It took time, for the cold steel was tightly fastened around his ankles. Then it happened. The rattle of broken chains and Bird took off. The guards were absolutely stunned. Bird was on the run and had made it through the front gate. Bird ran as fast as he could. But unlike the guards, there was one hot on his tail. The leader of the slave traders was running Bird down himself, and through some miracle actually managed to outrun him, making it back to Monk Mountain. Now safely back in Monk Mountain, Bird took some time to rest and sell what little wares he had. Off screen you didn't see it, but Bird might have stolen some gizmos and gadgets from the Surgeons Guild. But, you know, it's fine. He already had a bounty on his head, so that surely won't come back to haunt him, right? And due to the monks being slightly poor, Bird was unable to sell his wares anywhere here due to the fact that they were worth too much. So Bird set out, intent on selling his wares. He needed a place with more funds to give him. His chosen location, you ask? The city in which he met his deceased best friend in. Feeling extremely comfortable, Bird quickly made his way inside. Before doing anything else, Bird headed over to sell his stolen wares. His wares. After another stop or two and some shenanigans, it was time to go to the bar. But first, look at the unnecessary purchase that I made. It is large and totally doesn't make up for the fact that I lost my beautiful sword. I'll find it eventually. Now, to the bar. Remember the bounty on my head and also the stolen goods that I recently sold? The police force here is very angry, and suddenly the entire city wants me dead or imprisoned or things, and it's dangerous here. It's time to run away. The new problem is Bird is carrying an incredibly heavy weapon. It might be time to ditch it to try to escape. So that's what was done. Run, Bird, run! Bird made it outside of the city walls, but was tagged by a few arrows. In his attempt to escape, Bird was once again knocked unconscious. Then he was placed within a cage once more. Not as a slave this time. He would eventually be freed after serving his time. And thus, this is how we end Day 10. In a prison cell, waiting to serve out our sentence. But prisons, at least this one, won't last forever. Bird of Passage lost his arm, and Meep lost a leg, and I absolutely lost my sanity. Welcome back to Pixilated Chronicles. I hope you've had plenty of snacks, because days 11 through 35 are gonna be absolutely hard to digest. Now, without further ado, let's get into episode 4. This episode starts off with Bird in jail, just like it ended last episode. But We're gonna do a montage of the jail time. That way it doesn't take 16,000 years. So, here we
We
go.
start with chaos, crowns, and flame. No script, no rules, just heart and name. Survival's not a game we play. It's the myth we live day by day. From Peabody's trench to Spartan skies, we rise with memes and battle cries. Every glitch, every fall, we turn it into legends call. Pixels never die, we fight, we laugh, we cry.
After many days, considering it is now day 20, Bird was released. Finally. Freedom is ours once again. And yes, this took many hours in real life. Okay, maybe not many hours in real life. Maybe like an hour of full speed fast forward in game. But still, that's a long time to just be sitting there waiting to get freed from jail. Now freed, Bird headed toward the local bar. It was time to have some refreshments and to speak to somebody other than his jailmates. Bird, of course, had nectar. He's not a hummingbird. Anyways, Bird had much to drink with his new friends. After, he started to peruse, and even bought some food. You never know when you're gonna get hungry after all. After finishing up at the bar, we headed over to some other merchant locations. We needed to peruse a few more items. Perhaps it's time to own a home. From here, the selling of certain items was needed. More money was required, potentially to buy the said home. I didn't remember how much they cost, so who knows. After spending much time with the other merchant, I came to this one. I wanted to check out some armor. And in fact, I found some incredible armor that I did purchase for myself. Did I spend some of our house money? Yes. Do I regret it? Yes. Then it was time to head over to the house showing. It was time to purchase a home. Upon arrival, it was discovered that the home was affordable. It was only 32,000 cats, and we had more than enough to purchase it. So, that's what we did. And the first of the furnishing for our new home was a research bench. It would be needed for all future projects. Though I do admit I did forget to buy building materials. So that's what I had Bird do. Purchase the building materials, and then we would begin fully furnishing our new home. After returning home with the building materials, Bird began fully constructing the research bench. Some time was spent remembering the basics of the research bench and how those mechanics work. I really couldn't remember because it had been so long since I last had used this part of the game. That says a lot about me, I think. Even still, it was figured out, and training dummies were researched, which was fantastic. We absolutely need to get stronger so we don't lose an arm. Researching was fun, but now it's time to build some of the things that we actually researched. But first, we needed to go get some more materials. However, we ran into a bit of a problem. You see, this shop was actually closed. It's nighttime. I attempted to break in by accident. I thought the door was open. I did not think that through at all. Honestly speaking, this is what I deserve. I mean, it was an accident, but who's to say? This is Kenshi, and Kenshi is dangerous, and danger is this world at, yeah, I'm in jail again. Cue the next montage. It's day 24, and jail time is up. This looks important. I'm sure this won't come back around in the future at all. Anywho, so Bird returns home. It's time to get some rest and maybe a little work done at the house. The first thing on the list, to complete our storage. No, you didn't see this earlier, but it's there. Once it was completed, we began filling it up. Bird was ready to get some of the stuff off of him. Afterward, I really wanted to return and visit this location where the fighting was going on, and what I found inside was terrifying. What you are seeing is in fact a Beak Thing inside of this house. How did it get in there? And that's what they were fighting. Overall, not my problem. But what I do see is a looting opportunity, and like a crow, I began taking everything of value. I mean, I needed some new swords anyways, since my favorite one was stolen in the past. Bird then swiftly returned home. We needed to store the loot. Bird then returned to loot the rest of everything. But first, we had to drag the body of the Beak Thing out. Note, it is only unconscious. Bird then returned to looting. We needed to get every single valuable item available on the field. But the prized find was this beautiful, massive blade. Look at it. Oh my gosh. After a quick loot depot, it was back to yoink it. It was now mine. All looted up, it was now time to leave. But you see, the power of fate and karma is incredibly strong. Thus, the guards noticed that I was wearing or carrying some of their fallen comrades' gear. They gave chase, and suddenly I lost an arm. Knowing that I was going to go down, I decided to have Bird throw all of the loot out of the inventory. That way the guards wouldn't take it. And I also knew they were going to take down the Beak Thing, so I shouldn't die. And just like that, we are once again in a jail cell. Cue yet another montage.
We blend the pain with comic gold, a bedtime crown, a saga told. From Kenshi dust to Fortnite dreams, we build our world in silent screams. This is for the ones who feel too much, who rise from ruins out of touch. We turn our scars into design and make the broken feel divine. Pixels never die. We fight, we laugh, we cry. Every frame, every lore opens up a mythic door. Family fight.
And then, after that long montage ended, we were finally released from jail once again. I don't think we go back again after this. After leaving the jail cell, we come down to get our loot that we threw away. It's still ours after all. After returning home, Bird then worked on sorting the loot. Then he moved to construction, followed by some training regiments. Next up on the agenda is to head back to Monk Mountain. It's time to check in and make sure everyone is okay. Upon arrival, everything was exactly as I remembered it. Beautiful. Okay, as beautiful as the desert can get, but it was peaceful because monks are powerful and they protect their place incredibly well. Next, we visited the bar. It still reminds me of PC. I miss that little robotic fox. It was also in the upper floor of this beautiful bar that we met our next friend, Meep. Now, it's important to note that Meep has some life goals. He wants to become the greatest martial artist of all time. He starts out with all ones on his stat. He's weak, but he wants to become a powerful martial artist. We're gonna help him do it. So, we seek out the guidance of the God of Monks. Who better to train Meep than a god of martial arts? So, in accordance to the God of Monks' decree, Meep and Bird began to train. They needed to get way stronger in order to simply survive in this deadly world. Some time passed, and Bird decided he needed to do some things other than train. He needed to try to recruit. Manpower was severely lacking, and they needed more allies. However, recruitment was going absolutely nowhere. That was until I winked at this monk and she agreed to join the group. Look at us go. PC would be so very proud. From here, the group set out on an adventure. It was time to have some fun. Oh, that's the wrong way. Let's go another direction. There was much running, and well, to be honest, very little danger to be worried about. That was until... There may be luscious, wet, delicious water, but there is also something far more deadly than anything you could ever imagine right here in these swamps. In the distance is an unbelievable creature, a mutant blood spider with an unparalleled stat of 450 strength. The thing is a monster. Look at it, it's terrifying. Not only can this creature one-shot us, but it can outrun us as well. And it is, in fact, heading straight for our group. Fortunately, the mutant blood spider gets distracted by something else off in the distance. I don't know what it is, but it just saved our lives. Now, we are still in crazy danger. A Beak Thing just dropped from heaven. We are in so much danger. Our only choice is to fight. And so, the battle against the Beak Thing had begun. And to my absolute shock, we killed it. The group then decided to head back to Monk Mountain. It was getting a bit too dangerous out here. It was then, to my shock and horror, we suddenly fell under attack by another Beak Thing. It came out of nowhere. Maybe it flew from heaven again, I don't know. But within a heartbeat, disaster struck. Meep went down hard, losing a leg in the process. Now he's bleeding out, and we are wondering, will he survive this? But before Meep could be given medical attention, the Beak Thing had to be dealt with. After slaying the creature, Bird and the Elder Monk were able to get Meep healed up some, and then back to the bar where he could rest comfortably until he was fully healed again. From here, Bird began making plans for the future. The biggest goal was to wipe out the slave traders close by, but for that, he would need allies. They would need to find more people. On top of that, we need to find some robotic parts. We're currently missing a few limbs between our teammates. That needs to be resolved as soon as we possibly can. For now, we will wait patiently, biding our time. And in episode 5, we are going to become far, far stronger. We start off episode 5 of our surviving 100 days in Kenshi with the Bird of Passage, the Elder Monk, and Meep, who is being carried by the Elder Monk due to his injuries. The trio leaves the village safely, heading across the desert's expanse, re-entering the bone fields, and there it is, in the distance, their beautiful city, their home. Upon arrival, the trio is met with a slight problem. See, Bird forgot to take off his armor, which is stolen from a guard in the city. So we got mugged by the guards and were arrested. But Meep was left alone in the desert close to the city, but he has a missing leg and an arm and he can't walk on his own, so then he had to crawl back and we threw our stuff out and it's been a nightmare. It's been really rough, but hey, we're back in jail. That's what you wanted to see, right? But hey, look at the bright side. As you can see, Meep has made it back to the city, and oh, of course, but he made it back to the city, and he's making his way back to base. From here, Meep made it back into base. He locked up and stored the loot that he was able to grab that was thrown out during the arrest. And please take note that Meep, missing an arm and a leg, is unable to do anything at all. He cannot sit, he cannot train, he cannot do anything other than eat and just lie on the floor. So he's very limited right now until we can find him robotic arms and legs. And guess what? Our beautiful monk elder is now freed from jail. We can actually do some things now. The first order of business when the sun arose was to send the elder monk out to recover our dropped gear. And yes, I did absolutely panic during the arrest, so I threw everything on the ground. Everything. It was bad. I'm sorry. After recovering the loot, the elder monk headed back into the city. It needed to be stored safely away. Afterward, the elder monk went out for a bit. She visited the bars, attempting to recruit some friends. Unsuccessful, she ended up running into this little fella here. His name is Bonk. And Bonk did not wish to join the group. He was being a bit weird, saying weird things about hives and not wanting to join a hive. But then he wanted to join a hive. So then we brought over Meep, who is also a hiver. And guess what? Bonk joined our group. We have a new friend. After many failed attempts at more recruitment, the group went out. It was time to go do some perusing. Nothing of any significance was found, but hey, it is always fun to window shop per se. Some time passed and the group returned home. Now comfortably home, Bonk began to do some research, and the elder monk began building additional training dummies. Hours passed by, and after his research was complete, Bonk came up to assist with the training dummies. I might have gone a little overboard with how many there are, but hey, we need them to become stronger because we have goals. And in order to successfully complete those goals, we need strength, which means we need to train. It is now time for a long training session. Training montage, perhaps. Psych! The only montages we have in these videos is for jail time. Time passed, and Bonk continued doing more research. So eventually, we're going to have to make an alternate base somewhere, likely near the monk village. Low on materials, Bonk and the elder monk went out to purchase some more. They had to wait until daybreak, but were eventually let in and were able to purchase the items they needed. And now, with an inventory full of newly purchased items, it was time to head home. While having some fun around the house, I noticed that Bird had been freed from jail. Look, he's home again! After his return home, Bird suited up. He then began to train. It was time to become far, far stronger. Not just Bird, but the entire group, minus Meep, trained as hard as they could. They didn't ever want to be in a situation again where one of them could die. While the group trained, I checked out the map. I wanted to see where we could possibly go to get some robotic limbs. And the Ashlands, from what I heard, was the place to go. But before making that journey, we needed to train a lot more. And then we needed to get the supplies needed for the journey. But soon, we will in fact begin the journey to the Ashlands. After a successful food run, the elder monk returned home. It was time to store the food and prepare the next phase of the adventure. Can you feel it? It's time for an adventure. As I said, adventure, adventure, adventure. Okay, I'm a little weird. We've established that a few times now. I'm also a little impatient. So let's just do this thing. Let's go! And go we did. Excited to see what is coming around the corner for us. Surely it won't be anything bad. Hold it right there. What's your reason for being here? I live here. But I do have stolen gear. Oh no. Oh no was in fact the correct response. For you see, I attempted to bribe the guard. Don't ever do that because it's dangerous. I'm sorry. No more jail time. No more jail time. No more jail time. Bonk went down. Oh crap. And so did Bird. Again. You know what? This isn't gonna stop us. Arrest? Jail? No. We still have one out. I'm not talking about Meep. I'm talking about the Elder Monk. She's gonna go on this mission alone. It's a big thing! Run away! This dang Beak Thing chased me forever until I decided to fight back. How about you scummy dogs? Okay, this is a monk fighting Beak Things, not a pirate fighting Beak Things. Things don't go well, okay? See, believe it or not, the Elder Monk was in fact losing, so I had her retreat. I told her to run back to the city where it was safe. Because, hey, we cannot lose her. That would be devastating to our team at this point. Luckily, the Elder Monk was able to lose them and return safely home. Now, darn it, cue a montage for the jail time.
I walk in dust, no name, no crown, a bleeding hand, the world shut down. They call me cursed, they call me weak, but I learned to fight before I could speak. Stealing my breath, fire in my veins, I trained alone through blood and chains. No gods above, no fate ahead, just echo screaming in my head. Chains of the fallen, I wear them proud. Eyes in silence, I scream out loud.
I might like montages a little too much. I do apologize for that. But in other news, Bird is set to be released. We're just kind of waiting on the guard at this point to actually release him, in which, in hindsight, I can tell you that happens in next episode. Speaking of next episode, we will be going to the Ashlands, or at least trying again, as a full unit. And our reason for going to the Ashlands, and I'm reiterating this again because it's important, is to try to get some prosthetic legs or arms for our people. That way they're able to do things again. Poor Meep is over there, he can't do anything. But next episode, we're going to attempt to fix that. And lastly, we are halfway done with this series. 50 days down. 50 more to go. And I'll see you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. You're sexy. Bye. It's now day 51, and we needed limbs. Robotic limbs. An unexpected war. A new safe haven emerges. And a new ally appears. And we even discovered that revenge is now within reach. Now, let's begin episode 6. What in the 6 layers of crab legs is that? Oh, it's just a crab. It's fine. Anyways, Bird of Passage is released, by the way. So look, we have a crew. It's time to go to the Ashlands. Oh, good. We made it past the guards this time. No arresty for me this time. Not long after leaving the safety of the city gates, these Beak Things, 4 of them, came charging at us. However, unexpectedly, the Monk Elder went on an absolute rampage, killing all 4 of them. After that shocking victory, we checked out the map and continued onward toward the Ashlands. It was here in Royal Valley that we would be met with our next obstacle. For you see, we were in Hyber territory, and they were very unhappy with our presence. Initially, I had intended to only be passing through, but now we are forced to fight. We are forced to slaughter. However, the Hive are many. And although the Elder Monk is holding her own, Bonk ends up going down, followed by Bird. But it's okay, because the Elder Monk is an absolute machine. She tears through the remaining Hivers, and we survive. Wait, this head is food? Haha, yoink! Don't you sit there and judge me. You probably haven't even hit the like button or subscribed. So, meh. Anywho, so we took a moment and we gathered the loot and also some new armor for our current gear sets. After gathering every bit of loot, we slowly slipped away, once again heading toward the Ashlands. Fortunately, we make it through this new area with almost zero incident. I mean, there were no incidents. We made it straight through into the next area. And with some unparalleled luck, at least for me, we didn't run into anything again. We just went straight through the area safe and sound. At first, I was very worried about this new location. It was a little way station out of the way, right before the Ashlands. I decided to go in and take a look. Then I noticed this robotics workshop, so I headed straight inside. I spoke to the skeleton doctor and made a huge discovery. He has everything we need. The legs, the arms. We can even have backups. So, I sold some of my wares in order to make room for the new equipment, along with needing the money to purchase it because these things are expensive. Left leg number 1. This one's for Meep. Ah, I see. I don't have enough money for any more. I need to go get some more loot to buy some more prosthetics. Let's go make some money. But first, let's make a pit stop. Let's go to this place and maybe rest a little. After some rest, we ended up making a new friend. Meet Karen. After some friendly banter with the locals, it was time to head out. We still need to make more money after all. They say war is a money machine. It's time to wage war against the Hive. After some travel, we had arrived. It was time to approach and begin our war. We kicked things off by luring some of the guards out. It was time to test their defenses, and it quickly became obvious that not even this hive was enough for the elder monk. Hiver after hiver after hiver fell not only to the elder monk, but to Bonk, Bird, and Karen. Through these war efforts, we did accumulate quite a few items of high value, and now it was time to leave, especially since we've yet to run into their main forces. I'd rather not have that kind of war on my hands. This is more of a covert co-op, something, you know what I mean. Point is, we want to be kind of stealthy about it. We don't want to take on an entire hive, right? This time, nothing bad happened on our escape. Don't worry, they didn't come after us this time. I know, our luck seems to be really, really good this episode. After some travel, we returned to the robotics workshop, where we sold some loot and then bought some more prosthetics. We now have what we need in our arsenal. Or in our bags. You know what I mean. Look, it's been a very long day, so the crew got some sleep. We'll see you in the morning time. Everybody's now up, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. Forget it. Our next order of business is to go to this creepy outpost. The creepy outpost was indeed very creepy. And please note what's inside of this place. It's human skin-wearing robotic people. Let's just nope out. So we made our way over to Barrier Tower. Upon approach, we fell under attack. So we retaliated, busted down the door, entered, and began slaughtering the residents, which was some old robots. They were pretty strong, but again, the Elder Monk is a little overpowered at this point in time. After finishing off the last of the robots, the rest of the crew moved in, and we began looting everything. There was a lot of good items, including some gun/crossbow things that were top tier stuff. After that, we moved on to the Ashlands. Now, you may be asking yourself why we are still going to the Ashlands, even though we have found our goal of those robotic limbs. Well, to be honest, I'm just curious. I've never been to the Ashlands, so now I'm like, why not? We're right here. Let's go check it out. And not long later, we had arrived at the Ashlands. And guess what? It's so very dangerous here. Not only are there lots of robot legions, but there are also, the elements, the environment. See, the environment here will hurt you. You'll see your character's health dropping just by being here. We did not have the correct gear for this mission. I didn't know that until I got here. So, time to go home. Time for a montage.
Whoa. Stepping forward from the safety of our home, our little group began to travel alone. So many obstacles stood in our way. Beak things, desert dust, and skies turn gray. Are we lost? Are we going the right way? I can't tell, but I do know one thing.
On day 56, we returned home and gave Meep his new arm and leg. Then we built more storage and organized our loot. I know I'm going back on what I said last episode, but loot organizing montage?
Ghost in my own skin, fading out where dreams begin. You lit a match in the dark, now I'm burning with a spark. Every scar, every tear, I wear them like armor here. You said I'd bloom in the night, so I dance through the fear and fight. Shadow bloom, I rise again. Petals fall, but I won't bend. In the silence, I found my name. Love's a war, but I play the game. Shadow bloom, I shine for you.
I really do love montages entirely too much. Now, what's next on the agenda? Well, look at where we're going. The current game plan is to test the slave traders' defenses. Is it possible for us to take our revenge now? Or do we need to become a little bit stronger? Let's go find out. First up is the Elder Monk. We're gonna send her in and see how she does against the slave traders. Psych, we about to jump that ASS flip. Anyway, the battle had begun. Could we win? Is this test going to be successful? Let's really push the boundaries and find out. So, we stormed the gates. Let's go free some prisoners, shall we? We engaged in battle after battle after battle until we were finally able to get to the prisoners. Now note that most slaves here do not actually want to be freed. They're too afraid to be released. All but one. The one was one of our monk brethren who had assisted in the attack on the slave traders in a previous episode. We will break these chains. It worked. Now, let's head over to the next slave location. The battle was absolutely fierce, and there were far, far more slave traders here than the other location. This time, we were in trouble. So, I decided to retreat. It's better to get out while we still can before we get absolutely swarmed. Oh God, it's the naked man that dropped a bird before. Unalive him. Wait a minute. Is that the slave trader boss? Unalive him too. Now, everyone, run! After much effort, we were able to finally escape up the mountain and back to the monk village. The sad news is the monk that we did rescue was recaptured. It hurt really bad. So, in the next episode, we are going back in. We're going to get our brethren back.
I stitched my heart with silver thread, wrote your name in dreams I bled.
Welcome back, you little turtle muffins. This is Kenshi. We're surviving 100 days of it. This is episode 7, days 61 through 70. Let's jump straight into it. Kill some slave traders and free some monks! Last episode saw one of our monk brethren be left behind, caged. This episode, we are going to get him back and free any other monks we find along the way. I no longer care if the slave traders fall early. This is it. We are killing them this episode. First up was a little recon. We needed to know what we were dealing with and how to deal with it. Ultimately, this is what we did. Let us be sneaky sneaky. We will free the monks and then battle. That'll totally go well, right? Where there's no lights, there's no people around. It actually works fairly well for a little, but then it just goes sideways so very quickly. So, let's be clear about something. This is going to be a very, very, very long battle. So what we're going to do is, if you've been here and watched any of the other episodes, you already know, it's time for a montage.
The slavers fall, their reign undone. The war of freedom has begun. Drums of liberation, thunder in the sand, echoes of defiance carry through the land. Brothers awaken, the dawn is ours to claim. Drums of liberation, burn away their chains, burn away their chains. Bird of passage leads the charge. Meep strikes hard, a legend born. The elders vow, the monks refrain. No time
It was atop this building that we would meet our next ally. Meet the monk Morpheus.
make a sacred war. From prison walls to temple sky, freedom lives and never dies. Drums of liberation, thunder in the sand.
Hey, guess what? We're gonna make another friend. Meet Arida.
Brothers awaken, the dawn is ours to claim. Drums of liberation.
Holy swamp raptors. We got another one. Look, Copper, you're finally here. We did it! Guess what? We got another new friend. And his name is gonna be... Yes, it is CP! Not totally a playoff PC, our original protagonist that we really do miss a lot. However, it was here, in the second half of destroying the slave traders, that disaster struck. During the first encounter with the slave traders in the second half of the war, death fell to Copper. No matter what, they are going to burn. Every single one of them. Now, let's pay tribute to Copper the Fox.
He came with fire in his eyes, a name born from a friend's surprise. Through desert storms, he stood so true, a brother forged in battles new. But fate is cruel, the sands ran red, slave traders struck and Copper bled. The drums of war became a dirge, and grief gave rise to vengeance. Copper the Fox. a memory is made. We reach for you through blood and flame. The war burns hotter in your name.
Look, a monk grandmaster. Yoink. Anyways, back to the montage.
Became a roar. Copper's death meant endless war. Oh, copper falling into dust. We fight.
At long last, the war with the slave traders was over. We were victorious. Can't believe it's over. I am honestly stunned. We did it before day 100. Like, holy smokes. It's day 63. That battle took, what, 2 days? Maybe a little more, a little less? I don't know. But still, 2 days of straight battling? Good lord. But it was so much fun. It was very hard and difficult, and my soul hurts a little because of copper, but... okay, we move forward. Now, as you can see, we have the former slave Vika, who we saved along the way during the war. She wants to join us, and we are absolutely going to let her. After gaining our new comrade, we returned to Monk Mountain and went to speak with the god of monks. We needed to pray for Copper's safe passage to the otherworld. After prayer was done, we plotted our next course. It was time to head home and relax a little bit. The return trip held absolutely no danger, and we made it home. Everyone inside. Once upstairs, we began to unload the loot, one by one. Honestly, there was a lot of it. This was a great haul. The war was worth it. Again, other than Copper dying, which that's gonna haunt me just like PC does. After unloading our treasure trove of loot, the group began to train a little, to rest and relax, and to have a little time to themselves. After many hours of rest, it was time to head on another adventure. We were going back to Sonora's Dark, the little location with the way station that sells the robotic limbs. Why are we going back there? Well, I really like it there for some reason. It's beautiful, has acid rain, and you can sell things for a lot of money. So we're gonna go sell some things there again. But first, I had the group sit down. There's way too many of us to go shopping all at once. Wait a minute, there's a place for sale here. Let's yoink that on up. We got a base of operations in this town now too. After buying our new home, we began to sell our wares. We desired more cash. Some time passed and we managed to sell quite a bit of loot. Now, it is time to furnish the home. Bop, beep, bop, boop, beep, bop, 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 beep, bop, 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 bop. Our way station home is looking absolutely fantastic now. Now, up next is going to have Meep, the Elder Monk, Bonk, and Karen heading back to home base to gather some more loot. That way we can sell it here in the way station for profit. And so we don't get in trouble in home base because we've made a lot of people angry at this point. So they're going to head back there, get the stuff, and come back. However, as we began to approach home, disaster struck. Out of nowhere, multiple Beak Things began to strike. They struck hard, fast, and with their owners. This blitz was so unexpected that we couldn't respond fast enough. The Elder Monk went down. What do we do? Oh no! Wait, are those Bone Boys? To my absolute shock and overwhelming joy, the Bone Boys actually were attacking the Beak Things. Oh, we have hope, we have hope. The Bone Boys had bought us enough time. And now the Elder Monk was rising once again. And one of the Beak Things attempted to run her down, but it was far too late. From here, everything changed, and the Elder Monk, doing what she always does, annihilated everything. The battle was now over. We were victorious, but just barely. Now it's time to heal up and get back to home. That way we're safe. This is dangerous out here. We almost lost everything. Finally home, we entered, rested, and got our loot, and then headed back to the way station. Now safely inside our way station base, we store the loot that we brought over to sell. We also stayed inside the rest of the time. You know what? We're not risking this, because I got plans for next episode, and I don't want to risk dying just stupidly going out at the very end of this episode. So, that lightning bolt scared me. Anywho, the next episode will mark the beginning of the final chapter. What do I mean by the final chapter? Final 3 episodes will cover a new arc, the final arc, the arc to free all slaves.
Drums of liberation, thunder in the sand.
Acid Waters, the Holy Empire. The final war begins. Welcome to Surviving 100 Days in Kenshi, Episode 8. News of a slave empire reached Bird's ears. After some contemplation, it was decided that this empire could no longer exist. They would need to disappear, just as the slave traders did. But first, we needed to look at the map. We needed to plot the route to get there safely, or as safely as possible. It's also important to note that the Holy Empire holds multiple territories, making it up an enormous sum of land. The land, though, is insignificant. We have only 3 goals. 1. Gather an army of freed slaves. 2. Annihilate Rebirth. And 3. Kill Lord Phoenix, the leader of the Holy Empire. By doing so, we will finally eradicate slavery, bringing the system down. Oh, look! The monk grandmaster is finally going to join us as a permanent member of the squad. Let's go! He now needs some gear. Let's go get him some gear. Yoink, sploink, toink, poink, loink. I have him kind of looking like a dope military monk or something. I don't know. I'm not sure if I like it or not, but, it'll work out. Yeah. Anywho, after making sure we were fully supplied and geared up, we headed out. It was time to make our way to the Holy Empire. Hey, guess what? I was today years old when I learned that there was acid water in Kenshi. It's not normal. They're burning to death, and I still had them swim all the way across. We didn't die, but we also... Yeah, okay, it was a bad idea. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. After the encounter with the acid water, we saw on the map there was a place on top of a volcano, a city. Hey, we gotta go check that out. I know we got things to do, but there's never enough time. Too little time. Anyways, we're going to the volcano city. Now, it did take some time to get up to the entrance, up to the thing that goes up the mountain to the volcano. It's a long path up. It's very narrow. Keep that in mind. It's important. Now, if you missed it, we did in fact start getting attacked as soon as we pulled up. Well, we never ran into these people. Who are they and why are they attacking us? Well, I won't keep you in suspense. These are the anti-slavers, and they hate us because, well, Meep is wearing a slave trader mask that he had taken from the slave traders when we defeated them. Oh, we are on the same side, darn it, leave us alone! Wait, what? Wait, no, wait. Come on, we have to regroup. We have to pull it together and regroup. We have to defend ourselves, okay? That's 1 down. Now we just have to take care of 1 more. Just 1. What have I done? Meep has some life goals. He wants to become the greatest martial artist of all time. We're gonna help him do it. This mistake cost Meep, Arida, and Morpheus their lives. After making sure everything was secure, we gathered the bodies of our fallen comrades. It was time to get out of here, and we needed to give them a proper burial. The acid water would act as cremation. This way, their bodies could dissolve into nothingness, and they could return to the circle of life. Goodbye, my friends, until we meet again. We must move forward. After picking up 2 new companions and much travel later, we had arrived within the borders of the Holy Empire. What does that say? Blackened woman, there is no place for slacking here. Work harder. Yeah, they need to die. And moments later, the war began. And throughout the war, we pick up quite a number of new people, new faces, new guns. Well, arms. I mean, you know what I mean. Anyways, it's time for a montage.
The driveway cracked beneath my fall, and time began to twist and crawl. The sirens sang a distant plea, begging fate not to set me free. My breath was gone, my body still, my heart betrayed its final will. A stranger reached through death's disguise, pulled me back with borrowed life. I was the storm, the scream, the fall, but I became the miracle after all. I learned to walk through shattered glass, to feel again, to let others in. I stitched my heart with threads of light and taught myself to stand and fight. I should have died that night, but my guardian star refused to fall. I was broken, I was dying, and I heard my final call. I came back through the side, through the stroke, through the pain. I was gone, but I rose again. I'm alive. I am alive, and I'll never fade again.
After destroying 2 Holy Empire outposts, freeing all the slaves, and having many of them join us, we are now 19 strong, and our next target, the Holy Empire City, is now in our sights. Now, for whatever reason, this city is called Bad Teeth. Yeah, like your teeth in your mouth. Don't ask me why. Point is, there is no cover here to hide, and things escalate rapidly, which we meet head on. And, as weird as it is to say, the Battle of Bad Teeth had begun. And you know what time it is? Yes, you do. It's time for a second montage.
Death struck hard, the desert roared, 3 brothers fallen, cut by the sword. From the ashes, fury rose, still in hand we face our foes. From fire we rise, from blood we burn, the tide of vengeance will never turn. The Holy Empire towers tall, but even giants are doomed to fall. Raise the banner, break the chains. Holy Empire crushed in flames. 19 strong through blood and fire. Freedom's call, our one desire. This is dawn, the war's first breath. We march through fire, we march through death. Outpost
Heroes fall, the cities bleed. Slaves unbound, their cries decreed. Bird of passage leads the fight. 19 strong, we strike by night. Brothers lost, gone too soon. We march beneath a blood-red moon. Every grave a vow we keep. For the fallen vengeance we reap. Phoenix waits upon his throne, but his empire will be overthrown. From fire we rise, from blood we burn. The tide of vengeance will never turn. The Holy Empire towers tall, but even giants are doomed to fall. Raise the banner, break the chains. Holy Empire dies in flames. From grief to war, from loss to fight. Liberation rises, burning bright. The war begins beneath the banner's light.
11 people remain within the city of Bad Teeth. And also there's 2 patrols, but no idea where those are. We're not going to search for them. For now, we're going to make our way to the hub. We need some time to rest, relax, and restock our supplies before the next push, before we head to Rebirth. After some travel, we arrived at the hub safely. Afterward, we took over the Shinobi Thieves' hideout to discuss our plans. Which plans, you may ask? Well, don't forget that we're moving into Phase 2, which is annihilating Rebirth. That will be happening next episode. And then in the finale, we'll be striking at Lord Phoenix himself. The road out of the hub was quiet. Too quiet. A routine bag check turned into steel drawn, and blood spilled. We didn't start the fight, but we finished it. And with that spark, the desert lit a fuse. Rebirth was next. The journey to Rebirth was relatively safe, and we had arrived in full force, prepared to attack. But, you know, in normal fashion here on this channel, we're gonna do something special, not special, but you know I love it so very much. It's time for a War Rebirthian montage.
At the front, gaze fixed on the tower. Elder monk behind him, steady with that ancient power. Bonk spear sweeping wide, cutting through the storm, and the crew marches in, scarred, hardened, ballad born. Sirens wail, but we breach their lines. Holy nation gods clinging to their pride. Chains on the captive start rattling loud. A tyrant's fortress cracking, stone by stone. And by step, we break their throne. Strike by strike, we claim our own. Rebirth trembles when the outcast roam. Tonight we tear their power down to bone. Bird and the crew tearing down the walls. Hear the elder monk when the battle calls. Bonk hits hard like a thunderquake. Chains snap free with every move we make. This is where the captive rise up as warriors. Bird's blade blazing like a comet in the night. Monk's fist burning with that desert-born might. Bonk's deep roar and the crew advances, a disciplined attack. Keys in the locks, doors breaking wide, strangers stepping out with fire in their eyes. Bird calls through the smoke, stand tall and fight, and the whole damn pit rises with iron and fight. Step by step, we crush their pride. Strike by strike, we turn the tide. Rebirth burns when the rebels ride. Tonight the desert opens wide. Bird and the crew tearing down the walls. Hear the elder monk when the battle calls. Bonk hits hard like a thunderquake. Chains snap free with every move we make. This is where the captives rise up as warriors. Let the walls shake, let the tyrants break. Let rebirth choke on the strength we bring. Rebirth falls tonight.
Steel in our hands, fire in our chests. We are the storm that ends their rest.
Rebirth breaks under our might.
Freedom roaring through the desert wind. This is where the legends all begin.
We rise from the dust, we run through the flame. We tear down the walls, we're ending the shame. This is where the captives rise up as warriors. This is where the warriors become a myth. Rise, stand, right, stand, fight.
From here, we linked back up with the rest of the group, and some free slaves were following behind us. Now, let's get out of here. After bidding farewell to the freed slaves, we began making our way to the city of Stack. There resides High Inquisitor Seda. It's possible I said that wrong, but that's okay. Now, what we're gonna do with Seda? Gotta kill him. That way, once we kill Lord Phoenix, there will be no one else to take over. Well, to be clear, there's a second High Inquisitor, but we're not worried about that this episode. What we are worried about is sacking Stack. Now, it's time for a second montage.
The sky over Stackburn burned red. The bells toll like dying giants. And in the shadow of the holy spire, we marched, not for glory, but for the end of a tyrant's reign. Your judgment comes from the desert. Stone walls rising like a challenge to the sun. Holy banners snapping as the zealots run. Bird of passage steps forward, calm as steel. For some battles break the body, but this one breaks the wheel. The elder monk whispers prayers older than the sand. Bonk plants his spear like a warning to the land. And the crew stands firm, unshaken by the roar. For Stack has ruled too long, and we will bear it no more. Through fire, through arrows, through the weight of their creed, we carved a path for the broken, the hunted, the freed. The holy nation trembled as our shadows grew. For men who fight for freedom are the hardest men to subdue. Stack, we broke your crown, your walls, your faith. the clash of steel and cries. Smoke curled upward like a prayer to the sky. Bird's blade cut through the zealot's final stand, while Monk's fist thundered light judgment on the land. Bonk's laughter echoed as the barricades fell, a sound that carried through the city like a knell. And though the battle dragged brutal and long, our will held firm, for freedom makes the weary strong. Through the dust, through the wounds, through the weight of the fight, we pressed ever forward towards Santa's blinding light. And when his tower shook beneath our final blow, the holy nation learned what desert warriors know. Stack, we broke your crown, your walls, your faith, your iron frown. We stood through the storm, through the blood, through the flame, and we rose from the ashes, unbroken, untamed. So die, your reign is done. The desert has spoken, the outcast have won. This is the song of the city we crashed. The night we shattered the fortress of Stack. Let the stones remember the weight of our stride. Let the tower recall how the zealots died. Let the wind carry whispers of the men who stood fast. For Stack has fallen, and its shadow is past. Santa's throne lies shattered, his doctrine undone, and the desert stands witness to what free men have won. Stack, we broke your crown, your walls, your faith, your iron frown. We stood through the storm, through the blood, through the flame, and we rose from the ashes, unbroken, untamed. So die, your reign is done. The desert has spoken, the outcast have won. Raise your voices, let history look back. This is the night we liberated Stack.
With Rebirth and Stack behind us, it was time to go home and get some rest. We were exhausted, and we needed to be prepared, fully prepared, for next episode. Because next episode, we're going after Lord Phoenix. Now, let's go jump in the bed. However, that would prove to be impossible.
We return to the hub with dust in our lungs, victors of rebirth, breakers of Stack, seeking only rest, a moment to breathe, a night without steel in our hands. But the streets we trusted turn against us like a knife in the dark. The residents rose with fear in their eyes, and the hub, our refuge, became a battlefield.
We fought for strangers in Rebirth. We fought for justice in Stack.
But in the hub, we fought for survival against the very people we once protected. The hub red that night, brothers fell beneath the shattered light. Steel met steel where we once found peace, and the cost of our stand would never be released. But we did not break, though the wounds ran deep, though the hearts did ache. We rose from the ashes with blood on our hands, still standing, still breathing, still claiming this land. The Grandmaster Monk stood tall in the storm, his arm severed, his legacy torn. Yet he fought on with the strength of 10 men, a titan refusing to fall again. Bonk's spear cracked skulls in the dust-choked air, Bird's blade carved truth through despair, and the shinobi thief, silent shadows of loyalty, stood beside us when no one else dared.
We bled for the hub, and the hub bled for us.
But betrayal cannot kill what the desert makes to the hub.
For men forged in hardship are the ones who survive. We held the red that night, but we held the line with all our might. Through betrayal, through fire, through the weight of the fight, we rose from the ruins and reclaimed our right. We did not break, though the world struck hard, though our bones did shake. We stand in the dust with our spirits alight. The outcasts who live, the warriors who fight. And the desert whispered softly, "You've given all, fade away. At the gates of home we failed."
From here, there's nothing more to be said. We march. We march on Blister Hill. We march on Lord Phoenix. For freedom.
We came to Blister Hill with dust in our lungs. Red sky burning here in Zelatons. Steel met sermons, fire in our stride. Every step forward felt like the war had died. Walls shook heavy with the weight of the broken. Chains in the sand like ghosts unspoken. The banners of the holy nation trembled in the dawn. The world they built and suffering was already gone. Oh, the king has fallen. Hear the ashes sing. Bird hit the ground, but the elder rose like a flame-born wing. Blister Hill shattered, sky turning red. A tyrant's crown dropped stony cold dead. This is the end of the old world's reign. We march on Valtena through the fire and pain. Bird faced the Phoenix King, shadow in the light. One strike landed, he fell from the fight. Then the elder stepped in, silent as the night. One single blow ended the tyrant's might, and the chains that held the helpless fell quiet in the sand. The desert whispered softly, "This is your land." Oh, the king has fallen. Hear the ashes sing. Bird hit the ground, but the elder rose like a flame-born wing. Blister Hill shattered, sky turning red. A tyrant's crown dropped stony cold dead. This is the end of the old world's reign. We march on Valtina through the fire and pain. One more nail in the coffin, one more light of flame. The Holy Empire trembling at the whisper of our name. Bird rises from the dust again, a survivor forged in scars. Valtena waits in darkness, we're coming like falling stars. Oh, the king has fallen, let the freedom ring. The desert echoes every battle we bring. Blister Hill silent, but our hearts still burn, and the last of the tyrants will fall in turn. This is the end of the old world's reign. We march on Okra and Shield through the fire unchained.
Battles are now over. The war is won. Freedom is secured for all. It's time to return to the hub, collect our allies, and then head home.
We walk the long road home, wall behind our eyes. Sand on every scar, no strength left to rise. Battles when tyrants gone, desert finally still. But peace cuts deep when trust is what it kills. Old friends stood before us, weapons drawn in pain. Not enemies, not strangers, just ghosts we couldn't play. We dropped our swords in silence, too tired to even stand. Darkness pulled us under as we fell upon the sand. The world we fought to free turned its back that day, and the desert whispered softly, "You've given all, fade away." At the gates of home we failed, no strength to rise again. Our friends became our downfall, not the tyrants or their men. Unconscious in the dust, our weapons lost in night. Heroes of the war undone without a final fight. This is how the story ends, not with glory, only pain. At the gates of home we fell and never rose again. Skin bandits moved in silence, metal hands open wide, dragging off our fallen with no one left to guide. Elder monk behind bars, bounty sealing her fate. A warrior caged by the world she helped liberate. I watched them take our wounded, blood soaking through the sand. One of us slipped away, dying far from any head. I lay there trapped in silence, unable to scream or stand, as the home we fought to reach slipped like water through our hands. The fires of our journey die quiet in the dust, and the world whispered softly, even
died nameless at their home. At the gates of home we fell. The desert took us in. No cheers, no songs, no victory, just the ending of our sin. Our blades lay where we dropped them, our story carved in sand. A final chapter written by a tired, dying hand. This is where the journey ends. No more battles to atone. At the gates of home we fell and left the world
This is Kenshi.
At the gates of home we fell. The desert took us in. No cheers, no songs, no victory, just the end.